Hey everyone, this is Ian Miller, and welcome to Triple Threat Comics YouTube channel. Tonight, we welcome back a very good guest, a very good friend of mine. He is the writer creator of the sci-fi series Exiles. I do apologize if I'm not pronouncing your last name properly, so please help me out here.
Thank you. It's David Anaya.
And I apologize. I really apologize.
No worries. No worries.
Uh, it's been a while since you've been on the show last.
Yeah. It has. I feel like I was on yesterday. It's that cool, dude. Can I just say before I forget,
Yeah.
the opening is sick. it's,
Well, nice.
it's yeah, like you said, it's been a while, so I'd kind of forgotten about that, and then I watched that and I was like, yo, legit. Looks good.
Well, thanks. It was designed by myself. It has my character codename Hunter and our mutual friend Eric Hernandez's character Soul Racer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love that, dude. How are you?
I am doing good. I'm doing good. It's been a little bit busy, obviously, with the new year and all that, getting a lot of projects done, and including codename Hunter. And one of the projects I hope to be working on this year is an issue for Exiles.
Yeah. Really excited about that. So last year was really a production heavy year, where so one door closes and many door open.
Yeah.
Um, so I had an artist, and I don't want to badmouth anyone, but just kind of for whatever reasons quit on me midway
Oh,
um, through an issue. Um, and I was really down about that, but I went out to Twitter, now X, and I
mm,
asked for help, who can, and suddenly I had many artists, right?
yeah.
Suddenly I was working on several issues at a time. And so I took a step back from I guess selling books or really like marketing and just really being heavy on like producing, working with several artists, going back and forth.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think I had to slow down a little bit on that, because I was getting ahead of myself. But once I get to a certain point where I feel like we're in a good moment, definitely gonna hit you up and we're gonna make some magic.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I remember, folks, when David, he and I spoke the first time about Exiles. I did a test page for him. You've probably seen that in some of David's social media accounts, and that test was very good. And it opened up a lot of interesting ideas for me, especially as an artist, to say, okay, why don't we go in this direction? With the characters and all that. But I was very excited about that, and yeah, I'm very excited about working on this with you as well. And I'm very pleased to hear that you actually had, a lot of artists come to you, after you reached out. I completely understand because, you had to make sure that the product, is, you know, has a lot of number of issues before you can even think about, selling it.
Right, yeah. I'm really trying to go heavy on the cons
Yeah.
um this year. This year for me, I feel like it's a very transformative year. And I want to go heavy in terms of, but I don't want to go with one or two books, I want to go with one, two, three, four, five books and have stuff that people can really sink their teeth into,
Yeah.
as well as like merchandise that will accompany it. So I want to go correct. I don't want to just go and get a fan to get into one book and then they have to wait a long time for the next book.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, which is the reality of the business when you're not Marvel or DC,
Yeah.
um, and you're working with artists that that have day jobs, right, and have lives and are not. No one's ever going to be as committed to your art as you are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You
Yeah.
you know that firsthand. But there are special moments where you can collab with someone, and the passion is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For the viewers who don't really know about too much about Exiles, why don't we talk about bits about that a little bit?
Okay, so Exiles, my elevator pitch for it is it's 007 meets Game of Thrones in space. Right. So what does that mean? Let's break that down, right? So 007, James Bond. I've always been a fan of like the espionage, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a history teacher as my day
Mhm.
job, and I love the idea that perhaps on the media a conflict is being presented in one way, but on the low, right, in a way that a lot of us don't know about, it's being really conducted.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. That's my phone. Somebody else will pick it up. But yeah, I agree with you on that because history has also been fascinating for me as well, especially with some of these big moments. Like what really happened behind the scenes? What happened like that? It was like
Right.
with the King's Man movie. I'm not sure if you saw that, but
Yeah, yeah,
you have these big individuals, like Rasputin. Obviously, what was going on with World War I, and you have the secret society of spies that are trying to, make sure things don't escalate. So
right.
it's interesting to hear that the character of Exiles is doing that in the story.
Yeah, yeah. Because whether we want to be naive to it or not, that is a part of reality, right? There are these sometimes you can't send an army, and you sometimes you don't need an army. Sometimes a clever agent, right, that can get into a spot, right, and create havoc or change ideas of nations.
Yeah,
Um, that's useful. So we're doing that in this book, but just on a galactic level,
yeah.
right? Where we're sending the exiles. It stands for Elite Xeno Intelligence League Enforcing Satellites, right? So we could
Um,
break that down to. I'm such a nerd, dude. So like, I'm such a nerd. I'm into sports. I do all that stuff, right? I love it. But I'm such a nerd. So
hey, it's all right. We were nerds before it was cool to be nerds. Okay.
right. So elite, right? Xeno meaning like alien, right? That's
Yeah,
another word for alien, right? Intelligence league, so that gets the like the 007, the like CIA aspect of it.
yeah.
Um enforcing satellites, right? So enforcing like colonies. So it's based around this galactic empire that is sucking up planets right into it's very United States, Russian Cold War kind of inspired.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
And for me, it's very key. We have a half black, half Salvadorian lead as our main human. Every
Mhm.
other character is an alien. But what I love about space is that you can write a story about an Asian struggle. You can write a story about a African American struggle through the lens of an alien, right?
Yeah,
And it kind of takes away the bias from it, where we're just looking at this alien like, wow, that sucks. And then you think about it like, wow, that actually happens to people on Earth, you
yeah.
know. So that's really interesting.
Well, I think it's always interesting and always a good idea to be relevant to, make it relevant to the audience. So that way you can see the connection, and maybe the audience will be like, you know what, we could be better.
Right,
Let's see that. Like, let's see if we can follow the characters' examples and maybe apply that to our own lives. So yeah.
right. And I'm sure you would understand this reference. A big inspiration to this is X-Men,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
the X-Men, think of like a character like the Nightcrawler. He's a blue mutant, right? No one really can like physically relate to him, but emotionally and on like psychological levels, people a lot of people relate to him,
Yeah.
you know. And that's what we're trying to do with these characters here, where it doesn't matter what species they are, right? What matters is that they're dealing with problems that are universal.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that you're also covering what they could do to overcome these, personal battles.
Right. Right.
Okay, we did talk about this the last time. We did say you did tell me there was going to be a long series,
Hmm.
but since you've written a lot of issues so far, where would you say you are in how many issues you've written so far?
So right now I've written about 9 issues. I'm working on the 10th one. And I'm trying to take it to another place. Like I'm trying
Okay,
to, I'm trying to up it.
yeah,
Um, and but I've really been focusing on um designing a lot more like merchandise and stuff like that. So I haven't had
yeah,
too much time to write, and
mm,
I've got really into like writing children books and stuff like that. So I'm just always doing. I'm doing a lot of stuff, and I'm so
well, you got a lot of hands in a lot of pots right now, so I get
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But it's great that you're hearing that you're writing 10 issues, obviously, and I have to know this. I have to know this just for my just for me. What issue is Eric on?
Eric is on issue 5. Um,
Okay,
yeah, and so right now we have 2 books out. All right, so
yeah,
let me show these. This is the first issue. Really awesome
yeah,
work. I'm so proud of this. Despite despite the problems that go with creating a book and everything around it, I'm just so proud that I can say, hey, I produced and
yeah,
created a comic book. And then on top of that, like I could have really been happy with that, but we also came out with a second book, which is awesome, right? So Exiles issue 1 was this one here, and then this
yeah,
one is Exiles issue 2, brighter, much shinier. I will admit, and this would be the first time I've said this, so you get a little like exclusive here.
okay.
Um, moving forward, and as much as I hate to say this, I'm gonna really keep the colors to just the cover. Um,
Oh,
yeah, unless I can find a colorist that I really like trust and can be like fast.
mhm.
Um, I feel like I'm missing out on me and the fans and the supporters are missing out on great art just because I'm waiting for people to color it,
Yeah,
right?
so yeah,
And
yeah,
this is not some
yeah,
I'm sorry, and this is something that's not like unique. I was just in an airport and One Piece, which is like the one of the, it's like the top 5, right?
yeah,
It's the big 5. I look at the book, the manga, and the cover is beautifully drawn and colored, but I look in and everything's black and white, right? The Dragon Ball series, a lot of the times are black and white. Why? Because the manga company understands that like we're trying to get it out there.
yeah,
Okay, so if the big 5 can do it, I could do it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, no, I get it. I get it. I understand. What you could do, when you do the paperback edition, paperback collection, is that just have the cover, colored, and just take out the color from the first 2 issues.
Yeah, yeah. And then that'll make these 2 issues, like if you got them already, this will make them like limited edition, like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
God willing, and when these books pop off, because we got to speak the positivity into the air. When
yeah,
they pop off, whoever's purchased these will just be sitting on like a mint condition artifact, not artifact. I'm gassing.
you make it sound like Indiana Jones that right there.
It might be. It might be. I mean, who knows? When Stanley did his first book, I'm sure he didn't think, wow, this is going to be prized at like millions.
Oh
He
yeah,
was,
I mean, look at the first Spider-Man story, from Amazing Fantasy number 15. Like, nobody ever thought that was going to be a big thing, and then it turned out to be. And now
oh,
it's like the highly rated,
yeah,
sought after, comic. It's like in
yeah,
the millions.
yeah.
No,
So,
but yeah, absolutely. But here's my suggestion to you, because I think you
Please.
definitely should do that when you do the paperback, collection. But if you do a Kickstarter, right,
Mhm.
definitely sell the colored versions of issues 1 and 2 as stretch goals.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and you're not the first person to bring up Kickstarter to me. Uh, it's something that I'm definitely gonna have to start looking into.
Trust me, me too.
Yeah. So going back to the Eric thing, Eric is working on book 5, and his work is beautiful. But he's like an art. He's like Michelangelo. He takes his time.
Yeah,
Um, and they say that you can't have all three. You can't have like a good price, fast, and great. Like you got to pick two out of the three. Um,
exactly. Yeah,
so I'm just waiting. But we're still working on book 3. We're still working on book 4. So he has plenty of time.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love seeing Eric work. He showed me one of the pages of Exiles when he was doing the test. I was like, "Damn, you've surpassed yourself like 3 years ago."
Yeah. That dude is awesome, and
Yeah,
I love him on another level because we're both Salvadorian, right? So, I just got engaged. My so yeah,
congratulations, congratulations.
thank you, brother. Thank you. So my fiance actually is the one who I gotta get used to saying that. It's pretty cool. Uh, my fiance was the one who introduced us. So shout out to her. And we've just been cool ever since. And he just sends me like Salvadorian centered memes and stuff. Pretty cool.
I
Um,
like that. I like that a lot.
he's sick. I don't know what you're referring to 3 years ago, but now he's
Oh,
he's
yeah,
oof,
yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah.
Can't wait to get out.
Uh, yeah, I remember the first time I met him at School of Visual Arts, and I looked at one of his pages, sick layout, and I'm like, "You're a fan of Todd McFarlane?" I
Mm,
was like, "Yeah, I am." And we complimented each other's work, and we decided, after college that we would form Triple Threat Comics, and this is what we have now. And yeah, uh, he had done stuff at college. My God, great, but now, wow,
yeah, that's beautiful. And I love that you guys joined. Is it's like I don't know if you're a wrestling fan or any,
yeah,
but it's like when Triple H and Stone Cold got on the you know what I'm talking about? When they were like they were tag team champions for a little while. I was like, what the heck? Like two
yeah,
greats already. Just
yeah. Well, we were definitely fans, and we still are fans of the '90s comics. That type of storytelling, that type of action adventure type of things. So yeah, we put that obviously into our work. So I'm not surprised that we would all be working on Exiles eventually because we all that I think we all have that same time mentality.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, so you said you were definitely going to do conventions this upcoming year, which is a great idea
Hmm.
because you get to interact with the fans, attract new fans. But yeah, it definitely does help to have more product on the table. So I'm
Yeah.
very glad that you've taken the steps to make sure that you have a lot of product on the table.
Yeah. And if you guys are open to it, I would love to invite Triple Threat Comics to come in. We can share the table. Um, if we're gonna do it, let's go up together. You know what I mean? Let's progress together. Let's like I'm all about collaboration. I love passion, dude, and I love
Okay, you just blew my mind. So we have to have a conversation. You, me, and Eric. We have to have a conversation to
yeah,
add to the show.
yeah. Let's talk about it. I have the actual physical table already. We can put it under our names and just go over there and
Yeah,
hustle. You
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Let's have a conversation afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk after. Hell yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I'm very excited for you, David. I'm very excited for you for so many things. Again, congratulations on the engagement, and I think this is definitely going to be a hit series.
God willing, yeah. Just gotta, and I love that you're saying that. Got to keep that energy going. Um, and got to keep pushing. Got to keep grinding.
Well, that's the thing, and this is something we that I do talk about on the show, and this is a reality, folks. That sometimes, when you're in this type of industry that we're currently in, it can weigh you down. You probably will get a lot of no's. Believe
Right.
me, I have gotten a lot of no's over the years, including from the big two, or never heard from them again. But every once in a while, you get to hear somebody say yes to you. So you got to, even though you take a lot of losses, you got to accept the losses and still get the wins.
Yeah.
My favorite quote from Rocky Balboa was, "It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how you can get hit and keep moving forward."
Mm-hmm. Yes. I love that you think like that. Me and my boy Gabe, we've been working a lot on like filming vignettes for
Yeah,
wrestlers and stuff like that.
yeah,
And one of our big things that we've said, this the beginning was 2025. For every couple no's, we're gonna hear a lot of yeses.
yeah,
Oh, right? And you just can't get down on those no's. You can't get down on those. I don't want to get into it too much, but there's been a lot of non-commitment with people that I've worked with. Let's just say that,
hmm,
right? Um, and that can get me down in certain moments. And
yeah,
I allow it. I allow myself to feel it, but very, very briefly because the grind never stops, and no one's gonna keep it going if I don't keep it going, right? Who's gonna complete your dream if not you?
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You really need to keep your dreams alive as much as possible, and you can't really settle. But the thing is, and I can't stress this enough, you have to do the work. You
Yeah,
really have to do the work because it's very important, and you really can't be sitting there, blaming other people because you're not where you want to be.
right.
That's just going to hold you back. So, folks, if you really invest in this industry, if you want to be a creator, whether it's a video content creator, comic creator, you gotta get off your butt and do it.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I was just having this conversation with my fiance where it's like the work ethic is not there um for a lot of people now, right? Like
Yeah,
they care for that instant gratification. Um and that instant gratification when it doesn't come, then they go, all right, I'll settle for mediocrity, right? I'll stop hustling or I'll stop, pushing. Right? Like there are a lot of artists that don't get big until they're like later in their lives.
yeah.
Right? So imagine if those artists who are now huge now would have stopped.
Mm.
Uh, so I,
I can't picture Jim Lee, just stopping, like a certain point, or Frank Miller. Again, folks, no relation. I don't know the man. I'm not related to Frank Miller, so just get it out of your head. Miller's a very common last name.
I just have a skill.
Exactly. Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure you actually teach your class this, as well. Not to give up.
Yeah, yeah. One of my big sayings, and my students were making fun of me for this today, but I say work hard early, play harder later. That's like a big thing for me, and I heard that from a teacher when I was in high school.
Uh,
Um, yeah, so I walked into class today, and one of my students were a couple of my students were like, "Work hard early, play harder later." They're like making fun of me, but I was like, "At least you know it, like
yeah,
at
yeah,
least you know that. At least I've drilled that in your head." Um, and it's the idea that like right, you work hard, you push, you grind, and you will get rewarded later, and you will reap the benefits of your hard work later.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
right? But if you play hard now, like if I just play video games all the time, Um, then later on, when I want to be big, I'm gonna have to work even harder. Let's work hard now
Yeah,
and play hard.
absolutely, absolutely. That's definitely something that I definitely take to heart as well every day, which is why I'm not playing a lot of my video games at the moment because I'm too busy working on this.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so currently, obviously, you're working on the issues, and you definitely see this going past the 10 issues. So
Yeah,
this is a good thing. So you must have a lot of big epic stories that are coming into play very soon.
yeah, yeah. So the goal is to have this series be a jump off series for the characters.
Mhm.
So similar to X-Men, right? X-Men's big inspiration.
Yeah,
Starts off as the X-Men ensemble book, right? But then there are Wolverine comics. There are, right, like a Cyclops comics or you know, a comic or whatever, you know.
yeah,
That would be the goal later on. So there will be shifts, there will be huge dynamics. Like I think the word exile has so many different meanings. Yes, it is an acronym, right? For Elite Xeno Intelligence League enforcing satellites, but it's also a deeper meaning just to be in exile, right? To be exiled.
yeah.
Um, right. These are things that are gonna play a huge roles moving forward. Not to give away too much. Um,
You always gotta hold a bit back,
right,
so you can't
right.
ruin some surprises.
But I will say, what is very clear early on in the first book is that Quincy Ramos, right,
Mhm.
who this guy, right, who is our human,
Yeah,
he is part of this take no prisoner group, this covert group, but he's got a heart. He's got a conscience that a lot of the group does not.
yeah.
Right, and how is that going to play a role, and will he always agree with them, and if he doesn't, how will that turn out, you know?
Yeah, because in that type of job, you had to do some very shady stuff, you
Right,
know, and I think it always takes a piece of your humanity, away when you have to do that because it can't be easy to turn it off like a switch, it can't be easy. So that's why I think you and I definitely have a lot in common because with our characters, we're looking also at the psychology of, having these jobs because my character is also a secret agent in space in way in the future.
mhm,
But how does that affect them mentally?
right, right, and what leads you to become this person that you would accept this job, you know, that you were good at this job?
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, that's don't get me wrong, there's a lot of action in this
yeah,
book, but even the action is based in storytelling. Like I'm a big wrestling fan, and you'll
mhm,
see there's actually some wrestling in the second issue. They say write what you know.
yeah,
Um, I love me some wrestling. I
yeah.
love me some professional wrestling. Um, so there's this scene here where, um,
Oh wow,
yeah,
yeah,
where Quincy is going to meet up with the contact. And come to find out, the contact is like the galactic champion. And so uh, yeah, but wrestling is like it's not just action, right? Like that's why
yeah,
I'm a big fan of WWE because independent, not just not a wrestling show, but independent wrestling is a bunch of flips and no selling, and it loses its storytelling. It becomes action. It becomes circusy to me,
yeah,
um, right? Without consequence. Meanwhile, in WWE, like the violence holds their story within the violence, right?
yeah.
The big guy versus little guy. I haven't beaten this guy before. This guy always beats me. I'm fighting from underneath. It's bad guy versus good. It's very much storytelling. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. I can
No,
see why, yeah, you would want to incorporate that into Exiles, which is fantastic because, again, I can imagine, Quincy going up against a lot of big, villains.
yeah, right. And as a human, right, and we're gonna see that like Quincy is always gonna be at a deficit because the aliens are gonna be bigger and stronger but they're not gonna be wittier than my
No,
boy.
no,
They're
no.
not gonna be so he's always gonna have that. He's gonna have to use his brains and use his logic and that's something that I wanted to lean on heavy, like logic,
Yeah,
right? It's not there's no force, right? There's no like superpowers. Um there everything is grounded by logic, right? So even this stone or this energy source that makes people powerful is it's a natural resource.
yeah. Well, it sounds like a grade A thriller. So, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Of course. And you do have, obviously, issues 1 and 2 available. I have the link. I will just show them that for a minute.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is actually on, your myshopify.com, which is actually on your social media account on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah, it's right in the link in the bio.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's
Yes.
get a closer look at what the pages actually look like.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm such a history nerd that this is inspired by a ancient Carthage port, this spaceship design.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I actually went to Carthage, modern day Tunisia,
Yeah.
and I held it side by side, and I was just like, I'm such a nerd, but it made me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Quincy Ramos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Looking like a badass already. I like the profile and all that.
Yeah, he's a smooth guy. You know, the girls already flirting with him. And this is Miranda. I
Yeah.
mean, no, this is not Miranda. Sorry, this is Sheba in
Okay.
the left in the green,
Mhm.
and the archer is Janai. They're partners. Um,
Wow.
they have a really crazy dynamic because Sheba does not give a blank. Sheba will come into your galaxy and destroy it for the sake of the mission. And Janai
Wow.
is a little different than that. Janai has a conscience. So
Wow. Love the page layouts. I think it's fantastic, especially the different panels, because you're focusing on the different parts of the action.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
gives
really don't see that these days.
it gives some reread value to it where you could kind of see it on a different level.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this stone here is a big part of the entire series. So I used to do graffiti, and my graffiti name I never got caught, thank God. Uh, my graffiti name was Coho, Koho,
Yeah.
um, right? And so that's followed me everywhere. The my publishing company is Coho Publishing House,
Yeah.
and this stone is called the Coho element. Um, so it's essentially the most powerful energy source in the galaxy. Think of like if nuclear energy was just sitting around, and
Mm.
you can harness the energy straight like that. Um, but the issue is it's a limited resource, and these exiles have had a stronghold on everyone because they have this resource. But
Oh my.
unbeknownst to the rest of the universe, this resource is running out, so the exiles are panicking. They're trying to find more.
Yeah.
And Quincy's on a mission to find, and we'll see what he does when he finds it.
Yeah. I actually do have a suggestion for the future prints. When you do it all black and white, I think it would be very unique if you actually have, the jewel actually still in color.
That would be tough. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, so the idea is that there's certain elements throughout the like, and the purple one is the strongest, right?
Yeah,
Underneath that is orange, and then we have yellow and then red. Um, and so I want to keep anytime that energy source is used, I want it to keep that in color.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Because I think that would definitely benefit, just the storytelling itself.
yeah, I
Because it's
agree.
very important, and also you need to be, it needs to be color.
Yeah, yeah, and hopefully, we can progress to the point where we return back to color because I would
Yeah.
love to, you know,
Well, that could be the color edition then.
yeah. And this was the second issue we actually so the first artist I worked with, Sam, got to give him his credit. He did the entire first book. Everything. He did the pencils, inks, colors, and it came out great. On the second book, he didn't want to do all that, and I understood, and we found this new colorist, and they were amazing. Uh, just a lot of vibrant colors.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I love like sci-fi stuff because you could do anything.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
right, the idea that this was a decapitated head, and like let's reanimate it with the device. You know,
Yeah, this is the wrestling that you were just showing us earlier.
yeah. For all my Kevin Owens fans, this is a pop-up power bomb right here.
Ooh, that's a brutal punch.
Right? Yeah.
I like the little pose there. He's sticking out his tongue, going, ah.
Yeah. Inspired by my boy Zach, who wrestles.
Yeah, the pacing is very good, especially with just the number of panels and the action scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice shot. That's a nice panel right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these artists, I've been blessed to work with some artists who are talented.
Yeah,
Always gonna give them their credit.
absolutely. Okay, so this is obviously the Go Publishing House, issues 1 and 2. We also have these emblem pins.
Yeah, so these are the colors I was talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, so um, the purple, the orange, the yellow, and the red. Um, yeah.
yeah. Where'd you get these made?
So it's always who you know, right? And networking. So I tell my students like, yo, you better make friends with everybody here because
Yeah,
you never know who they're gonna become. So
exactly.
I have a buddy of mine, also Salvadorian. Um, uh, she works in like a honestly, I don't even know exactly what it is she does, but she produces like anything. Like she can do stickers, she can do pins. At one point, I was in talks with her to do an action figure. Um, yeah. So if anybody's interested, or or if you need, or anybody you know needs, let me know and I'll plug you. I'll plug you her information. I don't know if she wants me to say it publicly right now, but if you, I'll ask and then you can DM me and then I'll give it out.
Yeah, that's a good deal. Like I might,
Yeah,
I might take you upon it myself. So
yeah, yeah, dude. And that way we can go into these cons with like merchandise, not just the books, but I also got a buddy of mine who does t-shirts. I'm sure he won't mind me saying his name here. Uh He's a wrestler too, down
Uh,
in Queens. His name is Lenny Earl Cash. Lenny Earl Cash, right
I
there.
like that. I like that.
Um, and he makes t-shirts. He makes this dope t-shirt for the Hardys. The Hardy Boys came down to wrestle in Queens. He made
Wow.
the t-shirt. Um, so if we need merchandise, I feel like it's a big year. It's a big year, and if I have the opportunity, the privilege to partner up with Triple Threat Comics, we can make some noise at these cons.
Yeah, that knock on wood.
Let's
Knock on wood. I like
do it.
that. Yeah, let's do it.
Hmm.
Okay, so don't forget, folks. Issues 1 and 2 of Exiles are currently available. I'm going to post the link to where you can find it right now. So just bear with me. Yeah, there's a link below. So I'm going to give you a good minute just to, make sure you know where it is.
Awesome.
And keep a lookout for David's con appearances as well as issues 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
And one soon to be done, drawn by yours truly.
Oh, you know what would be a great opportunity? I might as well ask you here. I want to do a trade, like a trading card. I have these trading card ideas. Uh,
Oh,
would that be something up your alley that you think you could do?
I think I could. I think I could design a couple. Yeah, let's
Right,
definitely talk about it.
right. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it after because I already have the idea. It's a sick, and so
Yeah, absolutely,
I'm always working, 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 working.
exactly.
My fiance is always like thinking, 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 thinking. I'm just always thinking.
Hey, it doesn't hurt to think. It does not hurt to
Right.
think.
Might as well put it to good use.
Exactly, exactly. David, I can't thank you for coming back on the show with us, especially talking to me about your project. I'm very excited for you, especially in this new year.
Oh yeah, thank you for the opportunity, dude. I was really excited. Unfortunate I couldn't come on Tuesday, but I'm happy we got it going for today.
It's all right. It's all right. Look, we had to make sure that it fits around your schedule, and this is the thing that I really try to do. I try to fit any guests that wants to come on my show around their schedule.
Appreciate it. I
That's very
appreciate
important. That's very important.
appreciate you being accommodating.
Of course. Okay, before we go, I like to plug in my own stuff, as always. This is Codim Hunter on entityplanet.com. We got issues 1 through 3 right now. So I'm currently working on the fourth one, as I've said. I've already handed it off to my inker, Enrique Lopez. He's going to work his magic. But this is what issue 1 looks like. Yeah. And this is actually drawn a year after I graduated from college. You'll obviously see the artwork has changed a bit, through each issue, which is great, great, great for me.
Dude, your formatting, your website and everything looks sick.
Well, this actually isn't my website. This is Indie Planet. So we actually do have a website, Triple Threat Comics. It's currently under construction, but I guess I could show you guys just a sneak peek at what it looks like.
Hey, sneak peek, 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 peek.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right. Yeah, this is Triple Threat Comics.
That's cool too, though.
Yeah. And this was an image that Eric and I had designed together using some of our characters.
Wow.
Yeah, we're definitely expanding and building a much more bigger universe. I hope to have this website up maybe within the next 2 months, maybe perhaps in late April. So please,
Hell
when it's
yeah.
up, come on over. Then, of course, as well, I have my other merchandise business for Lillian Merch. And that's on tpublic.com, which is also at the bottom there. So I'll just pull that up a second.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my storefront on TeePublic.
Little Ian.
Yep. Where it has obviously my characters, Little Ian, and Conan Hunter. And we have it in different designs, obviously, on t-shirts, coffee mugs, pillows, hoodies, baseball caps, even cell phone covers.
Look at that.
Yeah. Now I'm currently working on Easter, a couple of Easter ones, so keep an eye for that. I think that's going to be it for us tonight. David, again, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Truly, truly.
Of course. I'm Ian Miller, and this has been Triple Threat Comics YouTube channel. Have a good night, folks.
Peace.